All right, our next question is for you, Billy. You better wake up, Bill. You've been around for more than a minute or two, and you played with a lot of people. You played a lot of music. The question is, how has Yes changed the way you play?
Well, my problem was that when I started playing bass, I learned to play to Yes records. So every time I was ever in a band and they were playing G to E, I would play anything but that. And they would say, couldn't you just play the frickin' G and the E? So I was always programmed for this style from a very early age, and of course Jocko, and there's so many other great bass players. So my style was heading this direction long before I realized I was, to be honest. It's just that Chris seemed to always be this iconic thing in terms of bass playing skills, composition, harmony, the whole thing. So for me, that was a big inspiration, obviously. And my life path bumped into these guys, and the rest is history, as they say. But
this is a good question. If you recognize that you are the person, put your hand up when I ask it. You guys play short form songs, medium form songs, and long form songs. But do you ever at rehearsal just jam for fun, either when prepping for a tour or not?
there's no time for that.
I mean, we do sort of accidentally, occasionally, fall into something like, oh, that's all right. But no, there's always been that thing about Yes jams. I mean, that a lot of music comes from jamming anyway, but also a lot of preparation is done together, in arranging. So, I mean, Chris always believed that, you couldn't really improvise without some sort of structure. And he was very structural, and we all learn, from each other about the different kind of ingredients you need. So a jam can be something familiar, but it sounds new, or it can be a load of guys playing all the wrong chords together. And it's jazz. That's what they say.
This is a good question for pretty
Well,
much.
I got to say, what Steve's saying, when we made Drama, the beginning of Drama was a lot of organized jamming. Basically, they turned into Machine Messiah and all of those songs. I mean, it was pretty incredible how it formed. It was like an amoeba. It just happened.
This is a question to everybody. Feel free to pass the mic around if you have a thought on this one. What do you find to be the most difficult, recording or touring?
If anybody wants
You gave me that look before in an interview.
Disdain.
But I didn't write the question this time.
Each world has its own advantages and disadvantages. When you're in the studio and you're at the front end of the session, it's all very exciting and new, and then as you get through the process, you're starting to get a little burnt and you just want to get out. And it has the same feeling live, where you're excited to get out there, but it is, from the outside looking in, we just kind of show up and play, but there's a lot of traveling and there's a lot of stuff that goes on in a day. And you start reaching an end of a tour, you're kind of looking forward to getting it wrapped up. It doesn't mean you don't enjoy playing in both settings, but each one has its sort of, arc. And that's why it's great to work with these guys, because it's, usually records and then touring and records, so that arc remains a constant, so you get the balance of both.
Since you got the mic in your hand,
All
somebody
right.
wants to know, when was your first Yes show, Billy?
As a fan, I had a great ticket to see Relayer in Vegas, but Earth, Wind and Fire was playing at the time. I wasn't totally into Yes. So I'm just being honest here, people. I keep it real. And so I went to see Earth, Wind and Fire. My brother went to see Relayer and told me all about it. I was like, oh my God, I missed it. And then so the next time they came around was 77, going for the one. And by then I'd been immersed in the whole thing. And from that point forward, I haven't missed one concert. But basically 1977.
a few more minutes with these fellas, and I want to make sure we get get to the good questions here. Steve, it says, I know Clap is dedicated to your son Dylan. Are there other children of yours who have not received a similar dedication?
Not received, no.
Not received.
No, there hasn't been a kid of ours that hasn't received their own tune. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So, and tonight I'm going to play Second Initial, which was written for Virgil, and sometimes I play bits of Baby Georgia, Georgia's theme, which is written for Georgia, and then Hint Hint was written for my daughter called Stephanie. So, and it continues with grandchildren, but that's another story.
Yes. Well, here we are, 50 true summers, and we're here, and you guys are still here, and you're still moving forward. I guess I just want to hear from any combination of you at this stage, being part of Yes. For those of you who've been in the band for a long time or not less time, what this all means. Because we've spent hours and hours countless hours of our life listening to your music, many dollars in travels to come see you play in far-flung places. The ladies here from Japan today. What's it mean to you? And Steve, you got the mic in your hand. I think you might be the best statesman on this, at least to start.
I don't know, I'm going to have to, like, off the top of my head, try and think of one word, you know, like sensational, or just, you know, this music carries, you know, parts of all the people that have been part of it. So very much it's a joint spirit kind of feeling that I get, you know, because the work we've done, different levels, you know, starting out as I did with Eddie Offord, and then working through, you know, doing a lot of co-production, and then, you know, then even Bruce Fairbairn when he recorded the Ladder, you know, educated Yes, even though we lost him just after that. So that was the learning curves happening all the time. So Yes, it's about learning, and that's why it's got a future.
Yeah, for me,
I just want to say also, the hours and hours you guys spent, we spent many hours creating the product that you love. So we put a lot of work in, but you did a lot of work listening to, because you know, it's hard to listen to music.
and for myself, it's the joy of my life, and to be a part of something that you know will live on forever, right? This music is forever.
My experience is beyond bizarre, because Yes was always my favorite band. You can ask my mother, who used to get pissed off when I'd say, I need more money for the merchandise tonight. And then that evolution, you know, I meet these guys and become very good friends with Chris over these many years and all these other guys, and then end up doing what we're doing here. This is a complete surreal journey. It's an honor to play with all these guys, and thank you guys for the support.
Yeah, I think the real key to Yes's music is that it conveys a very, very positive message, and I think that's one of the reasons why all you people get so much out of it as we do ourselves playing it. So thank you.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood. The best produced album of all time. Trevor Howe.
I'm just happy that I was asked to come back and play on this tour.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
What a bunch of guys.
Fantastico.
I'm with you.
And of course it depends. What you were saying, somebody was asking, what's more difficult or more enjoyable or whatever, traveling on tour and playing the music every night and so on, or being in the studio recording. In the 70s and 80s, I think it also depended
very much on the D's, the different D's, the different types of drugs taken. No. Just kidding. Never touch the stuff. No.
We could see that.
In the 70s, I mean, Yes was my favorite band from when I first heard Starship Trooper. Well, actually, the first song I heard was Seen All Good People, but it was covered by a band down in Margate. And I said to I was in a pub and they played that song. I said, God, that's a great song. Is that their song? And the guy said, no, it's a band called Yes. You probably like them. So I bought the album, man. So I was a big fan from then on. I think when you've been in a band with somebody, you know, you kind of have a bond with them. And I suppose I'd like to come and see everybody, you know, sing again and then go back in the studio. And I think Yes will keep going for a long time because I think the music has a lot of content. And you don't, you know, there has to be something other than 12 bars or jazz or something. There's got to be something else. And I found it with Yes, you know what I mean? I think a lot of other people find it too.
Don't want to forget you, John.
I say we all do an album together.
You can call it Reunion.
No brainer.
I don't know about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, celebrating their 50th anniversary with us here in a city that loves them the most, Philadelphia. Yes!
And thank you again to all of you. You've made it possible all these years, so thank you.